I never thought I'd kill a man with my own bare hands, except they weren't mine anymore. Slick with the sweat of a body that reeked of cheap cologne and entitlement. My 5-year-old daughter, Lily, pounded on the door of the house I'd bled for, her tiny fists echoing like accusations, while Evelyn, my husband's mother, screamed through the crack. "You don't live here anymore," before the lock clicked, sealing her out in the pounding Chicago rain. And the worst part? I was the one who'd taught Lily to trust family above all else. Right before they buried me alive in a lie that swapped my soul into the monster who orchestrated it all. It started 6 months before the swap. Back when life in our cramped Wrigleyville 2 flat still felt like a gritty rom-com. Me, Sophia Ramirez, 32, hustling as a freelance graphic designer, scraping by on ramen and hope, married to Derek Hale, the golden boy architect who'd promised me the world. We weren't rich, but we had Lily, our spitfire of a kid with my dark curls and his blue eyes, and that was supposed to be enough. Derek worked late nights at Hale and Associates, his family's firm, climbing the ladder with that boyish grin that hid the shark beneath. Evelyn, his mom, ruled from the lakefront condo like a queen bee, always dropping by unannounced with passive-aggressive jabs about my artistic career and how I should dress more appropriately for PDA meetings. The betrayal hit like a Lake Michigan gale on a clear day. It was Lily's 5th birthday, and I'd planned the whole thing. Piñata from the bodega on Halsted, cake from that hole-in-the-wall bakery that did the best tres leches. Derek was late, again, so I chased Lily around the living room, her laughter bouncing off the exposed brick walls, while I wore the apron stained with frosting wars from years past. The doorbell rang, and there he was, Derek, soaked from the spring drizzle, holding a bouquet of wilting daisies and a bottle of mid-shelf tequila. His tie askew like he'd just rolled out of somewhere he shouldn't have been. "Soph, baby. Traffic was a bitch," he said, pulling me into a hug that smelled faintly of jasmine, not mine. I brushed it off. Marriages in this city were marathons, not sprints. But that night, as Lily crashed on the pull-out couch amid wrapping paper carnage, Derek's phone buzzed under the kitchen table. I grabbed it before he could, the screen lighting up with a text from, "Missed you tonight. Come over when she's asleep. Bring the usual." E for Evelyn, my mother-in-law? The thought curdled in my gut like bad takeout. I confronted him the next morning over burnt toast, Lily giggling at cartoons in the next room. "Who's E?" "Derek? And don't bullshit me." He laughed it off at first. That easy Hale charm. "It's just work. Soph. Client from the burbs." But his eyes darted to the window, where Evelyn's Cadillac idled across the street, waiting to whisk him to brunch. I let it slide. God. Why did I? Because Lily tugged at my jeans, asking for seconds on eggs. And fighting felt like tempting fate in a city that already chewed up dreams like gum on the L tracks. The cracks widened over weeks. I'd find lipstick on his collar that wasn't drugstore red, hear whispers on calls he took in the bathroom. Then came the money, thousands vanishing from our joint account, funneled to some offshore thing he called investments. I was drowning in freelance gigs, pitching logos to startups that ghosted me, while he bought a new watch that cost more than our security deposit. "Family business," he'd say, kissing my forehead like I was the help. The secret I'd buried? It wasn't just an affair. It was the accident. 2 months in, Derek came home reeking of bourbon, eyes wild, confessing in slurred bursts that he'd hit something on Lakeshore Drive, a homeless guy, jaywalking in the dark, crumpled under the tires like discarded newsprint. It was an accident,
Soft.
He just appeared. I can't go down for this. The firm, Dad's legacy. I froze, the weight of it slamming into me like a CTA bus. Call the cops. Derek.
Now.
But he begged, tears streaming, promising it'd haunt him forever if I ruined us. Lily was asleep upstairs. How could I shatter her world? So, I did the unthinkable. I drove us back that night, under cover of fog rolling off the lake, and we moved the body to an alley off Division, staging it like an overdose. My hands shook as I wiped the grill, my prints on the evidence bag we'd stuffed the guy's wallet into. For us, Derek whispered, but his grip on my shoulder felt like chains. That was my mistake, the crime I bore for him. We walked away clean. Or so I thought. But Evelyn knew. Of course she did. She was the Hale matriarch, with lawyers on speed dial and cops in her Rolodex from charity galas. She covered it up, pulling strings to scrub reports, but not without leverage. Your family now. Sophia, she'd purred over tea one afternoon, her eyes like polished steel. But families keep secrets, or they break. The frame job came swift and surgical. Derek's promotion to partner meant audits. And suddenly, the firm's books were bleeding embezzlement, they said, funneled through my freelance LLC. My laptop, hacked with dummy transactions. My signature on forged checks. The cops raided our flat at dawn, Lily screaming as they cuffed me in my pajamas. Derek stood in the doorway, face a mask of shock. Evelyn behind him like a shadow puppet master. I trusted you, he mouthed as they dragged me out, Lily clawing at his legs. Prison was hell in the Illinois system, Cook County Women's, a concrete tomb where time stretched like taffy. I rotted for 18 months on a plea deal. Reduced sentence for cooperation, but cooperation meant silence on the real thief, Derek, who'd siphoned funds for his mistress. Turns out he was Elena Voss, a junior associate with legs for days and a trust fund. Evelyn had known about the affair, the hit and run, everything. She'd orchestrated the swap in my mind, me for them. The outsider taking the fall, so her bloodline thrived. Inside, I broke. Not from the fights in the yard or the roaches in the chow, but from the calls, Derek's voice. Cold now, telling Lily I was away on business, Evelyn cooing in the background. Mommy's not coming home soon.
Sweetie.
Grandma's got you. I scratched letters on the walls until my nails bled, plotting in the dark. If I ever got out, I'd burn their world to ash. Parole came like a cruel joke. Good behavior, they said. But really Evelyn's donation to the warden's re-election fund. I stepped into the gray Chicago afternoon. Free but hollow. Served with divorce papers at the gate. Derek had custody. Full. Our flat?
Sold.
My designs? Stolen for Hale and Associates portfolio. I crashed on a cousin's couch in Pilsen. Jobless. Haunted. Watching from afar as they paraded Lily at galas. Her curls tamed into Evelyn's perfect bob. That's when the swap happened. Not magic, worse. Experimental neurotech. Black market from a rogue lab in the suburbs. Peddled to desperate souls like me. I'd found it on a dark web forum. Second Skin Protocol, promising to inhabit your enemy's mind for justice. 50 grand. Wired from a GoFundMe lie about medical bills. They wired me up in a warehouse off Cicero. Electrodes humming like angry bees. And zapped my consciousness into him. Derek. My body slumped empty. theirs to puppeteer. But I was in his skin, staring at my own slack face in the mirror. Waking in that hotel suite, Evelyn's doing, no doubt, some team-building retreat, felt like drowning in cologne. His body was heavier, softer around the middle from steak dinners I never ate. But the power? Intoxicating. His phone buzzed with access, firm accounts, security codes, Evelyn's voicemails dripping venom about the Ramirez whore's release. I flexed his fingers, my new weapons, and smiled. Revenge wasn't a dish, it was a feast. And I was starving. First move, infiltrate. I drove his Audi back to the city, the skyline mocking me with its gleam, radio blasting Springsteen to drown the vertigo. Pulled up to the brownstone, our old flat, now his bachelor pad with Elena's yoga mats cluttering the hall. Lily wasn't there. Evelyn had her for the weekend. Enrichment classes at the Museum of Science and Industry. Elena answered the door in silk, smirking like she'd won the lottery. Miss me? Babe. I played the part, pulling her close. His hands, my hands, tracing her spine while bile rose in my throat. That night, as she slept, I rifled drawers, love letters from Evelyn, coded, calling her the daughter I always wanted. The betrayal deepened. Evelyn had groomed Elena to seduce Derek, to bind him tighter, all while dangling the hit and run as blackmail. Our little secret keeps him loyal, one note read. And the money? Elena's idea. Laundering through my LLC to fund their escape fund, Evelyn's condo in Miami, Derek's boat dream. I planted seeds, anonymous tips to the firm's board, forged emails from Derek's account confessing creative accounting, watched from his office window as auditors swarmed, Evelyn's face crumpling on conference calls. But the real thrill was Lily. I drove to Evelyn's lakefront fortress under his name, charming the doorman with Derek's club membership fob. She opened the door, Lily peeking from behind her Chanel skirt, eyes wide. Grandpa Derek, Lily squealed, launching into my arms.
God.
She smelled like strawberry shampoo and home. Evelyn hovered, suspicious. But I spun a tale of surprise daddy time. We walked the lakeshore, wind whipping off the water. And I whispered to Lily, Mommy's coming back soon.
Mia.
Remember that. Her trust cracked something in this stolen chest. But Evelyn was no fool. That night, she cornered me in the kitchen, martini in hand. What's with the sudden paternal urge? Son? The witch's spell wearing off. I froze, did she know? Her laugh was ice. Oh, I know everything. Including that lab rat you funded. Think you can play God in my son's skin? The confrontation escalated. Her words a scalpel. The hit-and-run victim? Not some nobody. Her husband, Derek's father, drunk, wandering after a fight with her. Derek had covered for her that night, not the other way around. I'd taken the fall for Evelyn's crime, her secret buried under my freedom. You were disposable, Sophia. A spick designer with no pull. Now you're trapped in that shell. And I'll bury you again. Rage boiled. His heart, my heart, thundering. I grabbed her wrist, twisting just enough to bruise. You locked my daughter out once. Remember? Her eyes widened. The memory flooded me from his fragmented thoughts. The night after my arrest. Lily at the door, pounding. Evelyn slamming it shut with that yell. I don't live here anymore. Derek had watched from the car, too weak to stop it. I fled. Elena's text blowing on my phone. Where are you? Board meeting tomorrow. Time to accelerate. back in the brownstone. I dosed Elena's wine with the lab's reversal serum, stolen during the swap. Meant to eject me, but perfect for chaos. She convulsed on the rug, her consciousness flickering out as mine hovered, untethered for seconds. In that void, I saw it all, the real twist. The lab wasn't rogue. It was Hale and Associates' pet project. Evelyn's brainchild for executive empathy training. Derek hadn't betrayed me. He'd been swapped too. Months ago. Elena puppeteering him to frame me. Evelyn's endgame to seize the firm from his weak bloodline. My soul snapped back into Derek's body. Elena's form slumping empty. I dragged her to the car. Drove to the lake. The same spot where it began.
But Mercy?
Not tonight. I called Evelyn. Voice steady. Meet me.
Now.
Or the board sees the body cam footage from the hidden run. She arrived. Wind howling. Lily safe with a sitter. What game is this? Imposter? I stepped from shadows. Derek's face illuminated by headlights. It's over. Evelyn. The swap. The frame. The accident. Your husband's ghost haunts you. Not me. We circled like wolves. Her heels sinking in gravel. You think you can touch me? I own this city. But I had the serum vial.
Glinting.
Drink. Or I inject. Live as Elena. The whore who stole your son's life. Or die knowing Lily calls me daddy. Her hand trembled on the gun from her purse. Family heirloom.
Engraved.
The shot cracked the night. But it was her foot that slipped on wet rock. Body tumbling into the black water. Silk billowing like a shroud. Accidental. Just like the first. I watched her sink. No splash of blood. Just the lake claiming its due. The climax hit days later. Boardroom showdown. In Derek's skin. Presented the evidence, emails, ledgers, lab logs. Elena's body. Revived but catatonic. Wheeled in as Exhibit A. The firm crumbled. Assets frozen. Derek's real soul yanked back from wherever limbo held him. Dazed in a hospital bed. He confessed everything. Tearfully. To the cops, the swaps, the cover-ups. My innocence. Lily came home to me. Not Sophia's shell, but a new one. Pieced from therapy and time. Derek got probation. Elena prison. Evelyn.
Gone.
Ruled drowning. But the twist reversed it all. In his confession, Derek admitted loving the power. Choosing the betrayal. I wanted out. Soft. You were the chain. So I kept his body? No. The lab's final reversal left me in limbo. A ghost in the machine. Narrating from the ether as Lily grew. Raised by a guardian aunt. Whispering truths in her dreams. Was it justice or theft? I saved her from monsters. But became one, wearing a dead man's skin to the grave. You decide if the rain-soaked door slam echoes louder than the splash. The aftermath tasted like ash on a cold wind off the loop. Derek's body heavy with the weight of sins that weren't mine, but fit like a too-tight suit. I stared at the mirror in the psych ward. His blue eyes mocking me, crow's feet from boardroom squints. A jawline softened by Elena's home-cooked indulgences. Nurses bustled, mistaking my catatonia for Derek's breakdown. But inside, Sophia Ramirez plotted the endgame. Lily was safe. Shuttled to my cousin Rosa in Logan Square. Away from the Hale vultures circling probate. But freedom? That was the cruelest swap of all. Reversing the reversal took cunning. The lab techs, Evelyn's discarded pawns, had scattered after the scandal hit the trib. Headlines screaming, Tech mogul's wife drowns in suspicious lake incident. I bribed one with Derek's Rolex. Meeting in a dive bar off Ashland. Neon buzzing like faulty wiring. The protocol's unstable, he muttered over flat beer. Eyes darting. Souls bleed over. You stay too long. You forget who you were. Forget? I'd etch Sophia into this flesh with a box cutter, if needed. He smuggled me the neural disruptor, a sleek fob like a keychain, humming with promise. One pulse to your temple, synced to the original host's vitals. But if the body's rejecting, he trailed off, pocketing the watch. Risky? Hell yes. But in America, justice was a DIY project, bootstrapped from shadows. Back in the brownstone mine now, by forged quitclaim, I paced the creaky floors, ghosts of piñata parties lingering in the dust. Lily's drawings taped to the fridge, faded, stick figure us holding hands under a lopsided rainbow. I called Rosa, voice pitched low. How's my girl? Her pause spoke volumes. Cops had questioned her. Hale lawyers sniffing for custody scraps. She's asking for mommy. Soft.
Not.
Him. The word gutted me. Mommy. Not daddy in drag. I hung up, slamming Derek's fist into drywall, knuckles splitting like overripe fruit. His blood dripped, warm and foreign. That's when the bleed started, flashes of his memories intruding, unbidden. Board meetings where he laughed at my hysterical suspicions. The night he dosed my wine with sedatives before the raid, whispering, for Lily's sake. Betrayal layered on betrayal. A Russian doll of deceit. I needed allies. Enter Marco, my old design partner from the South Side, the one who'd fronted bail money when no one else would. We met at his studio in Bridgeport, canvases stacked like urban armor, the air thick with turpentine and takeout grease. Soph, Jesus, you sound like a chain smoker. I laughed, Derek Smoker's hack from Phantom Marlboros. Told him everything. The swap sounding insane even to me, like a bad episode of Black Mirror scripted by Kafka. He bought it, eyes narrowing over his espresso. Those Hales always smelled off. Remember that gala? Evelyn cornered me, asked if you were stable for motherhood. Marco's fists clenched. He was family, blood or not. The kind that shared tamales at midnight. What's the play? Expose the lab.
Full.
But first, get me to Lily, without tipping the scales. He nodded. Pulling strings, fake ID. A burner van painted like a florist's. Discharged as Derek Hale. Outpatient. I slipped into the night. The city a labyrinth of amber lights and honking cabs, pulse racing like a kid ditching school. The handoff was at a park off Kedzie, swings creaking empty under sodium glow. Rosa pulled up in her battered Accord. Lily buckled in back, clutching a stuffed bear-eyed sewn from scrap fabric. Mommy, she whispered as I unbuckled her, Derek's arms wrapping around her tiny frame. She stiffened, scenting the wrongness. You smell funny. My throat closed. It's still me.
Mia.
Daddy's just borrowing. Rosa shot me a look, pity mixed with steel, but handed over the duffel. Clothes. My old sketch pad. A vial of her abuelita's holy water for whatever demon this is. We drove in silence to a safe house Marco rented in Humboldt Park. A walk-up with peeling wallpaper and a view of murals screaming revolution. That night, Lily slept fitful. Nightmares of doors slamming. I sat vigil. Derek's watch ticking like a bomb. Bleeds worsened. I dreamed his dreams. Elena's nails raking his back. Evelyn's voice cooing approval. Woke sweating, vowing to end it. Morning brought the call. Derek's real body. Revived in the hospital. Babbling to shrinks about imposters in my head. Cops were en route. Hales regrouping. Time for controversial calls. First, the leak. I hacked Derek's email, password still our anniversary. The bastard, dumping lab files to whistleblower sites. PDFs of swap trials on execs. Consent forms forged. Twitter, X. Whatever, lit up. Hail mindfuck trending. Protesters outside the firm chanting, "Souls aren't IP." Marco amplified. His graphic blasts going viral, skulls wired to servers. Tagline, "Who wears your skin?" Second, the confrontation. I lured the real Derek to the safe house. Anonymous text from his phone. Need to talk. Elena's ghost. He arrived, twitchy. Bandaged from reversal shock. Eyes hollow. Soft. How? I stepped from shadows. His own face staring back. Mirror horror. You stole my life, I growled. Voice his, but laced with my fire. Framed me for your mommy's mess. He crumpled. Spilling. Evelyn's plan from the start. Swap him with Elena to toughen him. Then pin the embezzlement on me when I got too close. The hit and run? Her fleeing a lover's spat. Derek covering to protect the empire. I loved you. Soft. But she owns me. Love. Bullshit. I pressed the disruptor to his temple, my temple. Pulse ready. Swap back.
Now.
He begged. Tears streaming. Lily needs a dad. Not a killer. The decision tore. Mercy for him meant limbo for me. Or force it and risk frying us both. Lily stirred in the next room. Murmuring, "Mommy." I pulled the trigger. Agony ripped through. Neurons firing like fireworks in a blackout. I tumbled into void. Souls colliding, his regrets. My rage. Elena's echoes. Emerged gasping in my own skin. Frail from disuse. Derek slumped catatonic. But the twist clawed deeper. In the merge, I absorbed her truth. Evelyn hadn't drowned. She'd faked it. Serum in her bloodstream. Hiding in a safe house upstate. Plotting counterstrike. Texts on a burner. Finish the Ramirez. Firm's mine. Rage reignited. I left Derek for the cops. Anonymous tip. Body waiting. Dressed in my old jeans. Too loose now. I hot-wired Marco's van. Lily buckled beside me. Adventure. Baby. She nodded. Trusting the voice if not the ghost. We hit the highway north. Rain lashing like judgment. Evelyn's bolt hole was a McMansion in Wisconsin Dells. Faux rustic with lake views and security cams. I breached with a jammed signal from the disruptor. Lily waiting in the car with Marco's promise to extract. Inside. Opulence mocked. Crystal decanters. Photos of Derek as boy. None of me. She waited in the study. Revolver steady. Hair wet from a swim. Alive.
The witch.
You persistent cunt, she spat. American as apple pie venom. Think you can undo a lifetime? I already did. I lunged. Disruptor humming. But she fired, grazed my arm. Fire blooming without blood show. We grappled. Silk versus
denim.
Her nails raking my Sophia's cheek. You locked her out. My baby in the rain. The yell echoed her own words back. Twisted. She laughed. Choking. She was trash.
Like you.
Hale blood runs pure. But the serum vial rolled from her pocket, hers, for escape. I jammed the disruptor to her neck, pulse firing. Her eyes bulged, soul ejecting in a gasp, body slumping empty. No splash this time, just silence. Debatable kill or mercy release. Cops ruled suicide. Overdose on experimental meds. Firm dissolved. Assets to Lily's trust. Derek? Coma. Vegetative. Elena? Life in Supermax.
Me?
Guardian to my girl. Sketching again in pills and light. But the bleed lingered. Nights I woke craving bourbon. His urges in my veins. Was I whole? Or hybrid? Lily calls me mom, but sometimes flinches at the shadow. Justice served. Or stolen. The door's unlocked now, but rain still falls. Years blurred like rain on a windshield. Chicago's grind polishing the edges of trauma into something almost livable. Lily turned 10 in a backyard bash at Rose's, piñata swinging from the maple. Kids shrieking as candy rained down. No ghosts invited. I watched from the porch. Sketchpad idle. My arm scarred white from Evelyn's graze. A tattoo of survival inked later. No moss cambios. No more changes. But swaps leave stains. Derek's echoes whispered in quiet moments. A phantom itch under skin that itched to betray. The firm was dust. Hale and Associates rebranded Voss Ramirez creative under Marco's helm. My designs front and center. Billboards on Michigan Avenue screaming empowerment. Checks cleared fat. Enough for a co-op in Ukrainian village. Swings in the yard. College funds blooming. Lily thrived. Straight A's. Soccer star with my speed and his reach. Curls wild under a goalie's helmet. But questions brewed.
Mom.
Why no pictures of Grandma Evelyn, she'd ask. Piecing the puzzle from whispers at school. Rich kid drama. The Hales fall a tabloid feast. I'd deflect with stories. Sanitized. She was complicated.
Mia.
Like onions, layers you peel till you cry. Truth simmered beneath. The lab's remnants. Seized by feds. Birthed ethics probes. Congressional hearings on consciousness commodification. I testified anonymously. Voice modulated. Spilling Evelyn's playbook. Power corrupts souls, I said. Mic crackling. Applause thundered. But senators eyed me like a lab rat escaped. Deeper controversy brewed in the veins. Derek stirred from coma after 2 years. A vegetable sprouting leaves therapy. They called it neural bridges from black market scraps. Woke babbling my name. Sophia. Not his wife's. The Hales, distant cousins, Vulturekin, sued for custody, claiming grandsonly rights over Lily, painting me the unstable ex-con. Courtroom in the Loop became Coliseum, lawyers in $1,000 suits dissecting the swap, experts debating if I'd contaminated his psyche. I took the stand, Lily's hand in mine under the table, her squeeze my anchor. He stole my body, my life, to cover his mother's sins. I took it back for my daughter. Gasps rippled. The judge, a no-nonsense black woman from Bronzeville, leaned in. MS. Ramirez.
You admit to.
Inhabiting Mr. Hale's form. I nodded. The room spinning. It was survival. Like any mother would. Verdict, mine. Full custody. Restraining order on the Hales. But the twist reversed slow. Insidious. Derek's recovery unearthed logs from the lab. Synced souls, leaving digital breadcrumbs. Turns out, during the merge, I'd imprinted, not just echoes, but code. His urges? Mine now. Woven. But worse, Lily. Tests post-trial showed anomalies, her DNA chimeric. Traces of Elena's from a botched prenatal swap Evelyn ran, ensuring strong heirs. My baby. Engineered. A vessel. Horror clawed. Was she mine? Or their experiment? I burned the reports, but doubt festered. Nights, I'd watch her sleep, curls splayed like accusations, wondering if the rain-soaked yell echoed in her genes, rejection coded deep. The climax brewed unexpected. Derek, ambulatory now, tracked us to the co-op. Slipped the order, showed at the door one drizzly October eve. Rain sheeting like Judgment Day. Lily answered, my mistake. Latch undone, his face gaunt, eyes mine from the bleed. Lilybug, he rasped, voice a gravelly hybrid. She froze. Bear hug toy clutched.
Daddy.
I lunged from kitchen. Knife from the block, controversial. Deadly, but he raised hands. Empty. Soft. I remember. Everything. The hit and run. Elena. Mom's gun. He collapsed to knees. Rain pooling. It was me. All me. Evelyn. She was the victim. Lies, truth's reversal hit like vertigo. In his ramblings, fragments, Evelyn's affair with the lab founder. A swap gone wrong birthing Derek's cruelty. She'd framed me to protect him. Her pure boy. From his own darkness, the embezzlement his solo binge. The accident his drunk swerve. I'd borne the fall for nothing. A pawn in their mutual madness. Swap me back, he begged. End it proper. Lily watched, eyes wide. The decision, mercy or myth. I dropped the knife. Called 911, suicidal ideation. They noted. He went quiet, strapped to a gurney, but whispered as lights flashed. You're the monster now. Soft. Wearing my guilt like a crown. Cops cleared him, but the seed sprouted. Lily's questions turned sharp. Did you kill Grandma? School counselor notes leaked, behavior shifts, identity confusion. I doubled therapy. Marco's shoulder. Rosa's prayers. But the debatable end loomed. Happy or tragic. We fled south. A road trip to my abuelitas in San Antonio. Station wagon stuffed with sketchpads and doubts. Prairies unrolled. Radio crooning Selena. Lily sketching beside me, her lines bolder.
Minesitan.
Mom, she said at a gas station, pumps humming under stars. I don't care about the swaps. You're you. Rain or not. I cried then. First real tear since the lake. Hugging her under neon. Back in Chicago, blooming. Lily's art show. My keynote at a tech ethics con, reclaiming souls in the algorithm age. Derek faded to assisted living. Hales dissolved in lawsuits. But the UAM lingers. Was revenge redemption? Or recursion? I saved us. But at what hybrid cost? The door stays open now. Rain a rhythm. Not a roar. Lily locks it sometimes. Giggling. No bad guys anymore. But in mirrors, I see flickers his jaw. Her curl. Tragic triumph. Or happy haunting. You argue it out over beers. I've got a life to sketch.